Great Scott. Great Scott. Great Scott.
Hello everyone, and welcome to another edition of Great Scott. I'm Scotty V. Good to see you. So, a few days ago, we heard a rumor from somewhere that was unsubstantiated and unofficial and hasn't been talked about by WB out loud, that George Miller, who directed Mad Max Fury Road and all the earlier Mad Max films and some other stuff, and who was supposed to do the Justice League Mortal movie, was going to do the Man of Steel sequel. This came from the guy who did the documentary The Death of Superman Lives, What Happened. He came out and said, oh yeah, George Miller's going to direct this Man of Steel too. And when I heard it, I was dubious, because why would some guy who really doesn't have any link to the actual film franchise come out and say that he knew this? And why would he know that? And who would tell him that? Maybe he's friends with George Miller. Maybe during the interview process for the documentary that he made, he heard someone say it or someone told him it. Although, I don't think that's something they're supposed to leak, and I don't know if that's something that anybody else would know either. They might have heard it somewhere. It might have been a rumor. Anyway, it still is a rumor, as I said, unsubstantiated. But then a couple of days later, we get the articles everywhere that say, Man of Steel sequel indefinitely on hold, which means it's really not going to be made, or there isn't going to be a George Miller sequel, or nothing has been said yet, and we kind of knew that already. It's kind of been a sticking point for those of us who love Superman, and those of us who really enjoyed Man of Steel, the idea that they immediately went to a Batman film as the sequel. It's not a true sequel. It's not a continuation of Man of Steel's story. Henry Cavill says this is an introduction to Batman. People are ruminating and rumoring that Batman's now going to be the center of the DC movie universe, which makes sense because he's the moneymaker, he's the cash cow, he's the one everybody loves, while Superman's kind of liked by some people, but not liked by most, and not that popular anymore. He was the big guy back in the day. He was the number one guy. He should be given some respect, but if he's not a moneymaker, if he's not the one people want to see, I understand from a business standpoint that you got to go with somebody else. I don't think that necessarily means you give up on it. And you know, even Marvel, who has a giant successful film business, has some characters that are more popular than others. Iron Man makes billions and billions, and Captain America makes a little less, although the second Captain America did better. Thor makes a little less, although all the movies are doing pretty well. Ant-Man, who no one even really was looking for a movie about Ant-Man, was a giant success, a big box office success, although I also heard stories there saying that it didn't make the kind of money they wanted it to, but I don't even understand that. Didn't understand it with Man of Steel either. $700 million isn't enough. I know some movies are making $1 billion. I know the Avengers, but that's all the heroes together, and that's after 10 years of building a franchise with all of the superheroes. So, George Miller directing the movie could be kind of good. I mean, I guess I didn't see Fury Road. I don't think I've even seen a Mad Max movie. But, I mean, he's clearly experienced. He's been directing movies since the 70s. And I guess he does action really well, although car chases aren't really Superman's thing. The thing now that bothers me most is that other rumor that said that there's going to be a Ben Affleck trilogy of Batman movies, that it's going to center on Batman being the center of the DC film universe. And we're going to get Justice League and Justice League 2 from Zack Snyder, and we're getting Wonder Woman and Cyborg and Flash and Aquaman, I guess, and all these other heroes, but no Man of Steel sequel on the slate. So hearing the rumor that there was going to be one by George Miller, everybody started to get excited, although I didn't, because it hadn't been announced. Someone just said it. I could say that. Bruce Timm, who did the animated movies, is going to direct the new Man of Steel sequel, a live action. And then someone will say, oh, somebody said. No one will say me, because I only have 2 viewers. But the point is that anyone could say that seems to have a connection to the business, could say, this guy's going to be directing. We don't know if they're going to be, and now we hear it's on definite hold. Which it was anyway, because nothing had been announced. We knew there was some sort of a hold or some sort of a delay, or it wasn't happening at all. So it's not that surprising, but it is disappointing that they're going to go the Batman route again. I'm not saying Batman shouldn't have another trilogy, and I'm looking forward to seeing Ben Affleck's Batman, and I love the trailer for Batman v Superman. I'm still a little, I'm unsure on the idea. I don't know where they're going to go with it, but it looks like it could be pretty cool, and if it's written well and the characters are good, then it'll be good. So I'm not saying stop the other heroes, but when Man of Steel was clearly a box office success, it made money. I don't see why you would put him on the back burner and make all these other heroes, and then, of course, Batman the center. But we'll see what happens. Thanks, everyone, for watching, and remember, always look up in the sky. Do, 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 do. Instead of Kindle playing music the whole time I've done this. Da, 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 da.